Hey everybody, this is Johnnie Alexander back again with Novelists Unwind. So happy to have today's guest, Hannah R. Conway. Hannah and I were actually together just last week at the Mid-South Christian Writers Conference, and so that was really fun to see her there and to catch up, and now to be able to have her on and talk about her writing and her life and just all the different things that she does and is involved with. So Hannah, I know you are a military wife, a middle school teacher, a mom. Tell us about how you write and balance all those things. I mean, I have a hard time writing and I don't have like another job. It's like people that have like a full, and teaching, I mean, that takes a lot of time, and then also have time to write. How do you do that?
I won't lie, it is crazy, and I've come to a point where I have to offer and give myself grace. I have daily word counts, and I do, and it's before, when I stayed at home. I was a stay-at-home mom for many years, and I could just write all night, and take naps when the kids took naps, and now it's not like that. And so my word count, used to be like 1,000 words or 2,000 words a day. And now it's like, okay, can you get 500 in?
Yeah.
Can you? And so it's these small baby steps. And there are some days when I'm grading papers and tests and cooking chicken nuggets for dinner, that it doesn't happen. And so I have to give myself grace for that. But I would say, my calendar, I have a to-do list. I have to-do lists everywhere. And I schedule that time. I make it happen. And sometimes it's 4 a.m. Sometimes it's 9 p.m. Sometimes it's during my lunch break. But it's when can I sit and get that 500 words in, or sometimes it's 250. Whatever that is.
Mm-hmm. I think that's great, and I don't think people realize that even just writing 500 words a day, if you do that, every day for so long, right, it's not a novel.
You do. It's in a week, it's a chapter for me, and then in just a few months, you have this novel, and you can, it's not the best writing in the world, because it's definitely a rough draft.
Right? They're allowed to be messy.
Oh, and they are. Trust me.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your books. I think Up in Smoke is the one I just finished reading, and I want to show that cover. Is that good?
That is Up in Smoke.
Yes. Because Hannah said all her copies are sold out, so which is saying, so she didn't have one to show us. Up in Smoke, and it's based on someone who was in the military and the struggles he's facing. So all of your books have a military tie-in.
They do. I never set out to write with a military theme, but it's a part of my life and who we are. And I think part of writing is to, even though it's fiction, it's to make sense of the world around you and the experiences that you have that are yours, or you might be watching people go through. And so, they just are military themed. I'm hoping one day one won't be. But even the one that I'm working on now, it has this military element to it, and I'll just embrace it for now.
Yeah, well, that's what you do. Just embrace it. And I love it. I mean, with the other two covers, because there's the story and then there's a prequel to it, and the black and white, basically with a little bit of the flag showing, so there's that little red and white stripe, and it says, oh, now does it say on that, "Let freedom ring"? Or is that just
that's my tagline?
That's your tagline
as an author. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's really cool. You've got that kind of branding thing going on, though. So
absolutely, freedom. Being a military wife, and the wife of an infantry soldier for 12 years, and he was medically retired after the last deployment, and we just have not been able to, I guess, stop ministering to the military families around us. And even though they fight for freedom and the families are right there with them, often they're not free. They themselves are struggling, whether it's emotional, something going on in their life that keeps them captive. And so there's just so much more to freedom than fighting for something in our Constitution or Bill of Rights, and as a Christian, we want to live in that freedom. And I want my books to show that there's struggle, but there's also freedom, and so that seems to be a theme as well.
Yeah, I like that. And so, do any of your heroes, are they sort of based on your husband? Do you?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes, it's so funny. Goodness, seriously, Johnny, I have written books since I was in first grade, and it's funny watching my daughter, make up these little books now. But um, they were always these magical stories. And so when I sat down to actually, I had kind of abandoned writing for a few years in college and military life. And when I sat down, it wasn't a story, it was a journal. And what came out of me were just these prayers and cries for my husband, for our children, for our marriage, for the war, for the families around us. And eventually, but those were all mine. Like, I kept them to myself. And eventually God started working on my heart and said, Hannah, you need to share this with others. You need to share your pain and your hurts and start a ministry. And so that's really what The Wounded Warrior's Wife was. It came from journal entries and then morphed into this novel. And so even though it is fiction, there are ribbons of truth. And just like with any novel, an author will often put pieces of themselves into their work. And so yes.
So that's the first book, The Wounded
Yes.
Warrior's Wife.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then you wrote the prequel after that?
I did. It's funny. The prequel was actually originally attached to The Wounded Warrior's Wife. It was, and my editor was like, this needs to go. And it was funny, but I was like, no, I've written this whole story. And she was like, but your story starts like 7 chapters in. I was highly offended.
Editors do that to us, but they always know best.
They do. And so I chopped it, and then they came back and they said, this could be a fun prequel. And it was fun because you get this sense of, with Wedding a Warrior, it's the prequel to The Wounded Warrior's Wife. It's very short, it's very small, but there's this whole, it's innocent and it's sweet and it's before the war, and it definitely shows this contrast between, my characters, what they were hoping and expecting, and what came out of it. But what came out of it was truly more beautiful than what they could have ever imagined.
Oh, that's inspiring. It really is. And you can get the novella, the prequel, free.
Always.
Yes, on Hannah's website, which is hannahconway.com.
That's right.
Yeah, you can get that there, which is really cool that you offer that to people. And then
thank you.
I want to read the second one, see what happens to.
It's fun.
Whitley, what's his name?
Whitley. Yes, and it's funny. We have 2 kiddos, and then our nieces live with us right now. So I guess we have 4 kids right now. But I wanted more. I used to want 12 kids.
Wow.
I wanted 12 kids. I wanted to have 6 and then adopt 6 from around the world. And so my husband was like, I think we're good at 4. And I was like, honey, and he said, just name characters in your book. So all of my names that I love are now my characters.
That's a great way to do it, really.
Cheaper.
Yeah, a lot cheaper. Let's go back to Up in Smoke, because that's the book that I was reading this weekend and finished it and really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
I found myself, like, oh gosh, what's going to happen here? What's going to happen? Some things I thought might happen turned out not to happen. So, it's like, you're trying to think ahead. But I really thought, and I don't want to give spoiler alerts, and I won't, but it was interesting to me. Of course, this theme of forgiveness is going throughout this story. And I thought it was so realistic, because at the end, it's kind of like your hero, there's one person he's just not ready to forgive yet. And he just says, this will take some time. And so, isn't that true? We want to be Christians who can say, oh yeah, God says to forgive, and we do it just like that. But that's not true.
It's not realistic. And that I know what you're talking about, and it was so difficult to write that. But I needed to stay true to the character and to the events in their life and what I would have struggled with and what I believe that we all would struggle with. And growing up in a Christian family, sometimes it's easy to say the right thing, but your heart doesn't make that change. And so I would really rather my character be honest to say that I'm willing, but it's going to be a process. It's going to take some time. And sometimes you think you've forgiven and you got to do it again and again. You're like, okay, I thought I let go of that. I wanted it to just be very honest. And as Christians, man, I really want to be transparent with my friends and just show my struggles. And man, that's just what we're supposed to do, Johnny, just to be open and honest and help each other through it. So I wanted to make my character very real.
I like that. And the idea that even in a story, not everything was tied up in a neat little package. I mean, there are those. It's like, okay, these people are going to continue, after you turn the page, and there's going to be this eventual, still this reconciliation in the future, hopefully,
That's right. Absolutely. And I left the readers knowing that, but also knowing that, like you said, it doesn't always end in this neat little package. Life is messy and it's a process.
Yeah, it is. It is. One of my novel, Where Treasure Hides, kind of ends like that. Like it's not really a happy ending. It's a satisfying ending, but not necessarily happy. And one reviewer just really took me very strongly to task for not wrapping up one thing. But it's like, you know what? No, it was war. It was World War II. Nope.
That's right. And it's funny, I've actually recently had a review about that. It was like, I wasn't okay with the ending. And I thought, I'm okay with you not being okay with the ending. Yeah. I'm really okay with that.
This is how it had to be,
Yeah.
It had to be this way.
Mm-hmm.
Also, okay, before we get off talking about Up in Smoke, you base the little town of Lebanon Junction, you said, on a town really near you.
Yes.
You live. So tell us about that, about doing a little bit of research.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So I'm from Elizabethtown, Kentucky, and right now I live in Clarksville, Tennessee, not too far from Nashville. And so growing up, there's this little town called Lebanon Junction. And truly there's like a railroad track and a few homes, but these beautiful rolling hills and these kind people. And I remember going there as a little girl, and I loved glass bottles. I loved shiny rocks. And so I collected rocks in these glass bottles. And there was this antique store. And it had this, it looked like a genie bottle to me. My mom was like, no, you can't, no. And I was like, Mom, it's a genie bottle. And so she allowed me to buy this a beautiful bottle, and it ended up being a liquor decanter. I didn't know that, as a 6-year-old or whatever. I didn't know. It was just this beautiful.
But you know what? Some of those bottles are really pretty.
Beautiful. And, in my little girl mind, it was just this, Lebanon Junction was always this magical little town where you could find beautiful little things. And so for this story, it was it's military themed, but there's just a part of me that's just a small town girl, and I wanted to weave that in, and just the sense of community and just that down home feeling. And so Lebanon Junction really isn't too far from Fort Knox, Kentucky, which is not too far from where I grew up. And I was like, you know what? We can make that work. And we did. And it was so much fun. And I actually went back home not too far into editing and getting this book ready. And I just wanted to go visit Lebanon Junction. And I did. I went and took some pictures and
kind of soak up the atmosphere.
Oh, I did. I mean, I stopped at it was just fun. Walk the streets a little bit, and good memories, good times.
Oh. Well, before we started recording, we were talking about, your speaking ministry. So I'd like to know a little bit more about that. I saw one on your website or maybe on Facebook, that one of the talks you did was called Wounds into Wind. And I thought, yes. What a great title. I mean, it's intriguing. It's like, so what would you like to share with us about that?
Oh goodness. I love speaking, and maybe that's the teacher in me. It just it could be, but I'm a very firm believer that God does not waste a hurt. I've heard that my whole life. I've heard that He wants to turn our mess into a message, and I'm here. I want to be very intentional about my life and my husband, our experiences, our family, and if we can minister to anyone then so be it. And so Wounds to Win is all about taking those wounds that we get from life, some that are, self-inflicted, and some that are just we don't have control over, and letting God work through those broken pieces of our life to really shine through. I talk about a mosaic and how it takes these broken pieces to make these beautiful images, and that's really what we are. That these wounds don't have to define us. They don't have to keep us in bondage. They are how God is going to reach a hurting world. And all we have to do is be willing. And that's what I teach on. I teach on really letting God work through you. I talk about, and different topics. I talk about stress and what it does to the body, because we know. I talk to other women about, and military families, about PTSD. I even do speaking to mamas and to families on what's going on with your middle schooler, and why they're acting like aliens. And
such a tough age. I mean, and I just so admire anyone who wants to spend it all day.
I know. Like, what does that say about me? I don't know. I know. And it's funny. Whatever I learn, I want God to use that to teach others. And so I've had some wonderful opportunities to speak. I was able to go to Maine and work up there and speak. I've been, goodness, where else? Down in Florida, Georgia.
Oh, really? Good.
Several places just to stop and speak and meet with others, several places in Kentucky. And so I'm working on expanding that ministry as God allows and I'm allowed.
Oh, that's great. Wish you the very, very best in that.
Thank you.
Okay, here's a fun thing, because I really did. I was stalking your Facebook.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm kind of fangirling right now.
Yeah. So, desserts. Questions about 2 desserts. Did you really eat the creme brulee and the pineapple? And how was it?
It was amazing. It was amazing, truly. And I love fresh pineapple. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And the mix of the two.
Where did you have that dessert?
It was in Memphis at Bahama Breeze. And
wow.
Oh my goodness. It was between that and this like bananas Foster thing. And I really wanted both, but I didn't have stretchy pants on. So I had to choose.
Anyway, there's a picture of this dessert on Hannah's Facebook. Is it your profile or your page?
I think it's my author page.
It's author page. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
it's open to everybody. So you can scroll down, you can see the picture. And it was really, really pretty. And then I scrolled down a bit further. So I don't know if you really ate these or not, but you have the picture of the Oreos with the hot and spicy cinnamon Oreos. Did you try those?
No. I was so appalled that I couldn't even, and I truly love dessert. I just love it. I go to the gym and work out so I can eat dessert. People are like, oh, I want to be healthy. And I'm like, I really want to go to this treat. Like, that's really what I want. These Oreos were like, they were red and they were cinnamon flavored. And I just thought that should be a sin.
That did not look up. And it made me think of hot tamales, which I do. I like hot tamales, but it's like, I don't know if I want to say
like, no.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think if I posted any other food. It's funny. My first Instagram post was of a grilled pimento cheese sandwich with bacon and tomato on it.
Oh my God.
Johnnie, you come up here to Clarksville and we'll go get one. And it was so funny. And it was delicious, but it was funny that my first Instagram post was.
That's what it was.
Food.
It's food. We all love food. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, also, for everybody, Hannah has a street team called Convoy, which is really cute. And you do have some certain qualifications, let's say, for being on your team, but it's to help.
Yes.
So can you just tell us a little bit about if someone wants to be in your Conway's Convoy.
Yes, if you want to be a part of Conway's Convoy, I do like for you to be 18 or older. It is funny. Some of my students will grab my books and they'll, advocate for me because they're They're amazing. But, you know, because I want to be all safe and secure, I do ask that, you know, you're 18 or older. I ask that you really love reading, that you have either a website or a blog, or you're willing to talk it up. So those are kind of the qualifications I'm looking for. I also really want people who are going to read it and review it for me.
Yeah.
Reviewers are just so valuable, and yeah, but yeah, that's really my team, what I'm looking for. And we have a fun time. We have a, you know, our private Facebook page, and
Oh, nice.
yeah, so it's fun. We have a good time.
Oh, it sounds fun. And Hannah's fun. I mean, just being with her, she's just like this, you know, burst of fresh air of sitting and eating. And Hannah joins me at the table. This was at the Mid-South Conference last week. And it's just like, oh, it's just like going to the party.
Yes, I tend to be very social, and yes, so I'm definitely an extrovert, and my husband is an introvert, and it's funny. We are highly entertaining, and there's not too many writers that are extroverts.
No, there's
right?
not. There's not. So it really is fun. And just when Hannah shows up, because it's just like there's this new energy, and it's very, you know, it's I'm drawn to it. It's really fun.
Thank you, Johnnie.
Like people.
You know, I will say that after a conference, you know, like that, or just being around people, I do have to step back and take a nap, because I just pour out, and there's, you know, and then I have to get a chocolate bar and some coffee, you know, and then I'm okay.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's fun, and I find it energizing too. I mean, the whole experience really is. It's like when you're with other writers like that, and really being able to talk to people who are, you know, there's so many dreams and hopes, and you know, just it's so encouraging, and so many great ideas, and it really is. It's exhausting, but it's so much fun.
It is wonderful. I loved. There were so many new people at Mid-South this year, and like you said, to hear their hopes and dreams, and to talk story with them, to talk ideas, you know, and we just don't get that with the normal people in the world.
We don't.
You know, they look at us kind of like, oh, okay. Yeah, my brain just works in all different ways. And
it does. I mean, you know, I talk out loud a lot, even when I'm by myself. I think people think I'm crazy, but I don't know. You know,
you got to.
Right?
Yes, I'm telling. If anyone, I'll have to show you my door over here in a second. I'll post notes just on my door, just so I know I see it. Ideas, you know, I just have paper. It's
everywhere. I think there's a plane going over the house.
Are you near a military base? We get those all the time here.
Well, I'm guessing near. I don't know how far away the Tulsa airport is. So.
Okay. Gosh, well, we're right near Fort Campbell near Kentucky, and so we get these huge helicopters that will come over, and sometimes the house will just like shake because they're so close, and we're so used to it that it's, you know, we're like whatever. But our nieces, when they first got here, were like, "What's going on?" Oh, it's just the military. You're fine.
Yeah. So I've only been here not even a week. Yeah, it'll be a week tomorrow. So
wow.
I'm still getting used to the noises and the wind. I'm in Oklahoma now. The wind.
Is it crazy?
Yes. You know, how Little House on the Prairie, and of course they weren't in Oklahoma, but they talk about the wind and the, you know,
yes.
And yes. And it's just like, that's normal. This wind. So yeah, I mean, it's an adjustment.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
It's gonna be fun, and still unpacking, and you know, doing all that kind of stuff. Getting things.
That's exciting. You are such a traveling woman.
I seem to be lately.
Yes.
One place to another. So it's fun. You know, it's fun to see what God has in store.
Oh, it is. It's quite an adventure. It is. Oh my goodness.
Oh, goodness. So we've talked about Mid-South Christian Writers Conference a couple times. I do want to say that Hannah is involved with the Kentucky Christian Writers Conference, which is coming up the third week in June.
Third week in June, yeah.
Yeah. So Mia, why don't you go ahead and put a little plug in for
Absolutely. The Kentucky Christian Writers Conference, the third week of June. It is an amazing time. We have an incredible lineup. If you are a journalist or fiction, nonfiction, if you're a teen, if you are into filmmaking or writing devotions or wanting to build your your speaking platform, we have something for you. We even have a comedy act. Fantastic. Oh, it is. It's going to be in Elizabethtown, Kentucky at Grace Heartland Church. And check that out, Kentucky Christian Writers Conference. Google that and pull that up and see what we've got going on. And we would love to have you. It's going to be amazing.
That's cool. And about what is your attendance at the Kentucky conference?
We run right around 100. Last year we had Brandolyn Collins guest speaking. Oh my goodness.
Amazing.
She's incredible, yes. And she was, at Mid-South. And so it was definitely a reason I signed up again. I was like, I'm going to stop. Fantastic. And then H. Michael Brewer is here this year. And then next year, word has it that Susan May Warren might be joining us. So that's our game plan. And I was like, yes, I get to fangirl over her. And she's like, who's this Hannah Conway chick? I'll be like, I'm the biggest fan. Chasing her with a camera.
And that's always a conference. That's about the size of the Mid-South Conference too. And if you've never gone to a conference, it's a really good size to go to for one of your first. Of course, ours is just one day, and yours covers more than one day.
It is. We have a meet and greet Thursday night, and we're going to do a pitching practice. And what we discovered last year is that we had so many new people that we had several new people that just didn't know what a pitch was, or even what an agent did versus an editor, and so we really wanted to teach them. And so that Thursday is going to be a meet and greet, but we're going to teach about what a pitch is, and agents and editors will be there to practice with the people. And our editor panel, we have an agent editor panel that'll be Friday morning, and we're going to start the conference with that. That way we can go ahead and clarify what an acquisition editor is, and what the different types of agents or different types of editors are, and what an agent can do for you.
Right.
And then that way when they go to their appointments, they're more equipped. We'll teach them, what a one sheet is, how to query, some things like that to help the newcomers and make them feel more comfortable. But you're right, it's a great size conference to feel comfortable, to feel like you can ask questions. And we have agents and editors and publishing houses that'll be there and that are looking and want to meet with the people. And
that's great.
Yeah, super excited. It's going to be fantastic.
It sounds like a fun conference. So yeah, if you're interested in writing at all and you want to dive in, this would be a great conference to go to. I really, when people say, what advice do you want to give to someone just starting out writing, going to conferences is in my top 3 because I just feel like it's absolutely essential to go to conference, start networking, start, finding out these basics.
That's right.
Because you're going to have to do it. You all have to do it.
That's right. And for me, it's fun. Like I'm very much like, hi, let's talk. And I will talk to anyone. But you're right. It is so essential. It was the first advice I got was to go to a conference, to join the ACFW was what I was told to be a part of. And man, just incredible. And even before I went to the conferences, just to be on their site and to gather those resources, to meet other writers, to even know how to have others edit and critique my work, and to develop rhino skin, really to know that your first draft is not good. And
exactly. And it doesn't have to be. I mean, it's actually okay if it's not. So
That's right. And yes, so you're absolutely right. Conferences, I'm constantly telling people, invest in the gift that God gave you and invest in yourself and connect with others, because we really are stronger together.
And that's a big part of it too, is going to conferences and meeting other people who are where you are, maybe a little bit ahead of where you are, so that you can find critique partners, because that's number 2. Be part of a critique group. You've got to, so that like Hannah just said, to develop that skin. And also you learn so much by critiquing other people's work. When you have to say this doesn't work and I'm not sure why, but you have to tell them why. So you have to figure it out in your own mind.
Yes.
Great
Yeah,
training. Yeah.
absolutely. Excellent advice.
Yeah. So yeah, so you didn't even know you were going to get writing advice today, but
You got it. You got it.
yeah, we never know what we're going to chat about on Writer's Chat. So,
That was free.
or this is even Writer's Chat. I'm sorry. Oh, not
Novels Unwind.
Writer's Chat is another whole thing. Sorry. Okay. So, I think that was everything I want to talk to you about. But
Okay.
what's next? So, yeah, tell me what's next.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, there are kind of several things coming down the pipe. I'm working on a novel that I'm calling Scandal right now. And I'm hoping that we'll have that ready to go this fall, between, teaching and then all that fun stuff. It's a little slower than what I would want, but it's a modern day rendition of David and Bathsheba. And it's military, of course,
Yeah.
David is the commander. And I'm going to tell you what, that has been a beast to write.
Wow.
I know that I'm definitely a sinner, but writing that book, I had all sorts of judgmental thoughts about characters that weren't even real. A new level of sinner that I could make someone up and then judge them.
I love it.
So,
I really love it. I will never forget that.
so I would be like, God, I'm so sorry for having that thought. He's like, Hannah, it's not real. Okay.
I was this is years ago. I was walking in the neighborhood and praying for different people, and I prayed, God, please help Rachel make the right decision. Rachel is the character in my book. And it's like, okay.
You're like, I need counseling. Yeah. This has gone too far.
Please help her make the right decision.
You're like, Rachel, wait a second. I know. So that but truly has been so hard to write. And to think of, diving into David and trying to learn more about Bathsheba and how to make her more of a modern woman and what their story looks like if it were to play out today. And it's just different. And
I'm interested to see how you pull that off.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Bathsheba is one of the characters or people in the Bible that I find very interesting because, of course, most people know her as, she was scandal with David. But they don't know that she's the one that the prophet Nathan came to on David's deathbed. So she had certainly, within those years, gained a lot of respect. And obviously was thought of as a wise person, a discreet person.
Yes.
The prophet turned to her.
Absolutely. She was known as the Queen Mother. So, and there's also evidence to suggest that she may have been the woman that Proverbs 31 was written after. And I have never heard that ever. And so reading and researching and just trying to learn more about her, there are a group of people, of scholars who say that it could be her. And to me, I thought, gosh, that's enough for me to spin a novel into what her life looked like and what it, but it has been a beast to write. And it is ugly in many parts and it's raw, but it's real. So we'll see what that turns to. And I'm also working on some devotions. And I never saw myself as a nonfiction person, but that's what I do when I speak. I'm sharing bits and pieces of our life, and thought, I've been approached to do a few devotions, and I'm gonna go for that. So I'm doing those, and then trying to get this current scandalous book out.
Do you have a release date in mind for that book?
I'm hoping it will be the first week of August. That's what we've got. That's when we released Up in Smoke, and I would like that to be kind of my standard when I'm releasing a new book. Yes. Wow. Yeah. So that's what I'm looking for. So if anyone's willing to join Conway's Convoy, you get a sneak peek, you'll get advanced reader copies, you'll get beta readers, all those.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. That's a great offer. So
there you go. Come on board.
Okay, well, when you finish this beast of a novel, What will you do to unwind? This is my classic question.
It will involve chocolate, maybe pineapple cream brulee.
To find Bahama Breeze.
Oh my goodness, yes. When I turned in the last, I guess, edit of Up in Smoke, we went to Nashville and our family, and we went to the zoo all day, and we just walked around, and it was so peaceful. So we will probably celebrate with the family. That seems like something that we do, and that's what that will entail. Fall break is in October, so we'll be going to Panama again with our church and the youth group, and we cook for almost 100 kids last time, and so much fun. And so my husband and I will serve in that way, and to us that's very relaxing. It's a great way.
Panama, like the Panama Canal.
Panama City Beach, Florida. Yes. I have said that, and I need to start correcting myself.
No, but I know where that is too. Yeah.
Yes. And it's just a great way.
It's so beautiful there.
It is. And so the kids have a nice retreat and get to develop their relationship with Christ. And we serve them food, which is,
fun.
I'll take it. So that's how I'm unwinding.
Sounds fun. Well,
yes,
Hannah, so much. I really appreciate you being my guest and appreciate the laughing. I knew, and you had said, we're not so much fun. I said, yeah, we will.
Oh yeah. We'll have a great time. So much fun. Thank you so much. What an honor to be here with you. And it's just such a pleasure having this conversation. Thank you.
I loved it. Well, thank you. And thanks everybody for watching. We're glad you're with us. And don't forget to head over to hannahconway.com.
That's right.
For Hannah's Conway Convoys. You can
That's right.
a peek at this book called, is it going to be called Scandal, or is that still a working title?
That's what I'm calling it, but you know how that goes.
Her next book about Bathsheba. That's the one you want to be able to read. Thank you, Hannah, so much.
Thanks.
Bye-bye, everyone.